evening. My name is Julie Adivita, and I'm here representing Island Kids. I'm the program director with Island Kids, and I am here along with Nikki Leopold, who is the board chair. Are you guys comfortable on that side of the room? Okay. I'm assuming you'll have questions. I'm just going to go through the slideshow, and then I'll answer your questions. Okay. Our history of Island Kids: we are a not-for-profit organization incorporated in 1993. Our goal is to provide top quality, age-appropriate programs and services to Roosevelt Island residents. And we serve children ranging from birth to 10 years. And we offer classes comparable to those in Manhattan at significantly lower prices, as well as provide scholarships to participants of our summer camp. Our goal is to provide top quality, fun, exciting, diverse, and affordable programs and services to all the families and children of Roosevelt Island. Our current programming includes a baby group that runs weekly. It's a free class that has been offered for the past 20 years. And it's a great opportunity for parents to get to know one another. What we do is try our best to create a friendly and supporting environment for new parents so they adjust well in their new role as a parent. And often these friendships extend outside of class. We do have an after-school program as well, a summer camp program, which I'll get more into, and our universal pre-K program. Our projected start date is fall 2016, and that will be the newer aspect of our programming. Who we serve toddlers, and they take part in our tumping classes, which is an enrichment class for us. We have a summer camp program that serves 4 to 10-year-olds, and we serve approximately 350 children each summer. And we also have an after-school program that serves 5-year-old children, and we place emphasis on the 4 and 5-year-olds age bracket of our summer camp because we noticed that it's it's an area of need in terms of age. We do have, or we know of a Beacon program that accepts students as early as 6 years old, but we don't have any programming on the island that accepts 4 and 5 years old. So we decided to start this summer camp for them. We tailor our program in relation to gaps that exist in island programming, specifically programming for 4 and 5-year-olds, as I explained. The need for summer camp. We do offer scholarships to children who will otherwise not be able to participate in our summer camp experience. With the major development of the Cornell Extension on the island, it significantly changed the socioeconomic class on the island, and we're aware of this. There's a high number of Section 8 households still live on the island and those in hospital housing. So we do provide our scholarships primarily with those families who wouldn't be able to afford our summer camp program. Our summer camp program provides a safe and caring environment for children of single-parent households or families where both parents work outside of the home. Okay, our summer camp theme and description this summer was Healthy Body, Healthy Environment, which we had a blast with. All the curriculum and the field trips were aligned to the summer camp theme. Participants were able to develop tangible skills, primarily in the gardening aspect. We did a lot of composting. We visited field trips that aligned to the summer camp theme as well. Some trips that we went on were Alley Pond Park, Central Park Zoo, Queens Botanical Gardens, the Science Watch Club for Kids, and Liberty Science Center. And pretty much all these trips were learning trips, but it was tons of fun for the students. And we did recognize at the end of the summer, they understood what gardening was and what composting was because it was such a heavy theme and it was so ingrained in programming. So they really came out understanding why it was so important to take care of the environment and, of course, our bodies, and why a healthy environment, of course, leads to healthy living. This is our criteria for scholarships. All applicants of our scholarships must provide documentation. For a full financial aid package, we would need documentation for mean tested benefits, such as Section 8, Medicaid, SNAP, SSI, TANFP. For a partial financial aid package, we would need documentation that shows a total annual income that falls below 300% of federal poverty guidelines, and these particular applicants are not eligible for the mean tested benefits. Other financial aid packages in extenuating or extreme circumstances include medical hardship, recent job loss, and large number of dependents. This was our scholarship breakdown in 2014. We had about 16 summer campers who were on scholarships, which was 32% of our children and equals about $25,100. In 2015, this past summer camp, we had 10 summer campers who were on scholarships, which equaled 20% of our children that week, and a total of $20,000. And the scholarship process was held up by uncertainty of funds, which led to parents seeking other options, which you can see a little bit of a drop from 2014 to 2015.
And some of this money was taken out of, $10,000 was taken out of our operating budget, which I don't know if we're addressing in the PowerPoint, because we didn't know public purpose funds were coming through. We had no idea what was going on. We got $10,000 from our other funder, and we, at the last minute, just decided to put in our $10,000 because we had such a need for scholarships. It was, we didn't know what to do. It was just, so that explains that. It's kind of, the $20,000 comes from $10,000 from another funder and $10,000 out of our operating budget. Yeah.
And the scholarship is an important aspect of programming because it pretty much equals the, or makes the playing field level for students who wouldn't be able to participate. And what we find is very important, I guess, for a child to have diversity, and whether it's ethnically or even in terms of income. So we try our best to make our camp as diverse as possible through the scholarships. Our accomplishments, growth of our after-school and summer camp programs that has allowed island kids to become financially solvent. We were a recipient also of an Inkind donation from the Lawyers Alliance, in which all of our governance documents were revised and in compliance with the Nonprofit Revitalization Act. And this was pretty much 70 plus hours of hard work totaling over $35,000 if we were to pay for the service. In the process, we are acquiring all the necessary documentation and licensing to open a free of charge universal pre-K program that will offer an additional 15 seats to 4-year-olds on the island. Leveraging a public purpose grant to obtain additional funding. Island Kids Partnership with RIRA through public purpose funding is essential in maintaining our relationship with TransCanada Corporation, another major funder. It has been a challenge for us to find additional funders, specifically due to the fact that we serve a relatively small number of individuals as compared to other larger nonprofit organizations. Island Kids continues to look for ways to expand our funding base, including the possibility of collaboration with other island nonprofits to pursue community block grants. In addition, we will continue to pursue grants through funders who we have approached in the past, such as the Heckscher Foundation for Children. Island Kids Programming and RIAC's mission. Island Kids aligns with RIAC's stated mission by providing the children of Roosevelt Island quality programming, regardless of their ability to pay. Specifically, 100% of public purpose funding received by Island Kids goes towards this effort. This falls in line with RIAC's directive to develop and maintain services to Roosevelt Island residents who are stakeholders in the corporation. Okay. And that is it for my presentation, but as you ask questions, I'm actually going to play another slideshow for you guys.
Okay, testing, yes. Hello, testing. Yes, recall we have 10 minutes for your presentation, so how much more time do you think you need?
You can go ahead and ask questions. I'm just going to play them in the background.
I'm sorry, say
You
again?
can go ahead and ask any questions that you may have. I'm just going to play the slideshow in the
There's a
background.
slideshow.
Yeah.
Oh, we have background. Okay, very good. Thank you so much for that. I'll start with the question. And actually, one thing you said resonated a bit, and it might alter a question I had planned. I know that you do have funding sources from, potentially from, you mentioned CALOS and TransCanada.
Yes.
And when you mentioned TransCanada, it made me think of this question, so to speak. I'm going to modify my original plan question because I'm interested in what you said. Tell me if I interpreted you correctly when you said that your support from TransCanada depends upon your relationship with RIRA. Can you elaborate that further, please?
Sure.
Yeah, it's not at this point that it depends on the RIAC public purpose grant. In order to get that, they really looked at what other funding sources we had, and that was our major funding source, except for the city council grant at that point. Right now, TransCanada, honestly, is changing their focus. So the amount of money that we've gotten from them has decreased over the years. So and with any funding source, you never know what's going to happen, but that was a major component in us being able to get TransCanada to support us. So that was the point that we were making. When you talk about leverage of funding, that was, RIAC Public Purpose Grant was the way we leverage that funding, and hopefully will be the way we leverage funding in other areas, but it's very difficult. I don't know if you're hearing from other nonprofits in the community when you're dealing with a very small demographic. So, that's kind of what we're facing.
Okay, I just found that an interesting input. Actually, I was at TransCanada recently, in fact, for a presentation from them, and they made perhaps a general, sort of a general statement touting what they've done for the island. So that you've linked it to RIAC, which was surprising, but okay, that's fine. Let me just follow that, and I will turn to my colleagues. You indicated that there's means testing for your scholarships. Now, your request is specifically for the summer camp program. Is that not correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, and the applicants in your summer camp program, what percentage of those are means tested, or what percentage do you give scholarships to? I'd just like you to state that for the record.
For full scholarships, it was, I want to say this past summer, we had more partial scholarships than full financial aid packages. But that number, as you saw in the presentation, was about 20% of our students. I don't think at all, correct me if I'm wrong, this past summer we just had partial scholarships because of the press for funding. It was a stretch for us to do the full financial aid packages. So we did the partial.
And when Julie says partial, we asked a lot of people to pay whatever they could. So we had certain parents paying $300, which was a standard $50 a week kind of. We were trying to kind of just get whatever we could and give the most scholarships that we were able to give. So, yeah, it was when we say partial, if the entire summer camp season was $2,100, a lot of parents paid $50 a week, that kind of thing. So,
Okay, excuse me. Thank you for that. I'd like to turn to my colleague, Ava.
Thank you. I have two questions about the specifics of your funding request. The first is, you say on page 9 of your application that you are, quote, requesting retroactive funds in the amount of $10,000 to cover scholarships that you already gave this summer out of your operating budget. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And also you say you are, quote, asking for funds for your summer camp scholarship program for 2016. So basically you would like to get a refund for $10,000 that are already spent this year and another $10,000 for next year, which make up the requested $20,000. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And the reason for that is we didn't know the length of the time that the application or the request covered. So in doing the summer camp, we had to pull out of our operating budget. We didn't know if the grant request, the window would cover that, as well as cover the upcoming summer camp. So we did the $20,000.
yeah, I think it was unclear to, I mean, I'm the one that wrote the application, when the what this grant period would cover, whether it's the current fiscal year or the next fiscal year. So if the funds weren't awarded until April 1st, that would cover RIAC's next fiscal year. And so we didn't know what we were asking for, really. So that was, if public purpose funds are going to come out at this time of year every year, we're always going to be asking for retroactive funds because our summer camp season will be over by that point. So I guess it was just clarity on our end as to what we were actually asking for. Yeah.
Okay, the other question is, how many children would actually benefit from those $10,000 next summer, and can you describe how exactly you select your scholarship recipients, especially in terms of impartiality and diversity considerations?
Oh, okay. So let me cover one aspect of the question, but in terms of selecting applicants, it is first come, first serve. We do let parents know that the scholarship process or the application process has opened, and then they submit their applications. But we do it that way, first come, first serve, and if they qualify for full or partial, then we honor it and relating, or only if they turn in their proper documentation.
So how many children would benefit from the $10,000?
So this year we had $20,000. We had 10 scholarship recipients from $20,000. So $10,000 would add 5, depending on what our situation was with what we're charging and other factors. So.
Thank you. I just want to piggyback on the question of the 10,000. I think each of us, and we independently come up with our questions, by the way, and I'm confident that each of us had that same question because it sort of stood out. And I must admit, I'm not at this point sure how we will factor that in. So I suppose we might have to discuss the matter of a look back and a look forward. We need to get some more clarity. So I'd just like to make a point of that, and I'm sure we'll get more clarity for that. So without further ado, I'd like to turn the mic over to Erin.
Hi. I had a couple of questions. Just in the future, that's great, universal pre-K. Do you have space? I know you've come back and forth. Finally, you got a space?
This is the space we're trying to get a license for. So
sure.
we've been in discussions with the building of Roosevelt Landings. They've agreed to give us a lease. We're in the process of confirming that now. But everything that we're doing now is in preparation for that. So
In Roosevelt Landings?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're committed to having us at least 1 year universal pre-K.
It's
in the community room we've been in for like the last 25 years.
Okay.
So
in the community.
yeah.
All right.
It's awesome though. It's an awesome
Nice.
space what we're trying
Not
to
the
do.
12th floor community room. Up on the 12th floor?
No, it's on the ground floor. DOH has already been there. They've told us that it's can accommodate 15 kids for this program. So
Sounds great. I appreciated that you had done something with the Revitalization Act, and you were probably the only person that had a conflict of interest policy. That said, what position do you hold?
I'm the board chair right now.
Okay, so in here, you're the executive director.
Yeah.
So
When I wrote that, I was the executive director. You know, I'm not a paid executive director. That would be the conflict.
Right.
At points, working for Island Kids, I've been paid. Never in my capacity as executive director or board chair. At this point, have I been paid for that?
Okay, because in this you are. So maybe you have another tax return, because in 2013, they do have.
I
you
was
listed.
paid in 2013.
Right, they have you listed with a salary as well as your treasurer, as well as the director.
Yeah, we were all paid
Which
at that
is-
point.
Okay, so.
But in my position as board chair, I've never been paid. So
Okay, I thought you came here as board chair.
I am board chair now, but
Okay.
Julie came on in January of
Right.
2014.
Huh?
Julie came on in January of 2015. In 2014, my tenure as executive director, and that was probably the wrong terminology to use, but a paid executive director ended in June of 2014.
Great, all right,
So,
that's good.
Yeah.
And then we clarified on the percentage. At first I thought you said 350 students, and I was like, oh, but it was 30, right? All right, let me just see. I think that was pretty much it. We already did attendees, full scholarship, partials, so I'm okay. I think so. Oh, maybe updates on the New York Community Trust. Each of them had said that you were pursuing it. Did you get any word on
No,
those
we
additional
haven't.
funding yet?
You're talking about the collaborative community grant?
They just, you had said that this
Yeah,
was
we
gonna
talked
update
to
it.
a couple of island nonprofits about it. We haven't done anything about it yet. So
Okay, and the one where you were looking at New York Community Trust, that you will be meeting in the summer to pursue it, and then you had mentioned the other grant, which had been the Hepler Foundation.
yeah,
that
and
we
we're
rejected.
we're still rejected. So
You
we
tried
have to-
again, you said you would put
Yeah.
another one in at the end of this year.
Yeah, and
Okay.
the thing that's changed with Heckscher is you have to be invited, so it really it involves a discussion with the program director there. So we have to pursue that.
Okay, thanks, appreciate it.
Okay, sorry, we're on such a tight schedule. We need to give the audience, they're all out there, I'm sure they're going to show, the audience an opportunity should they have a question. Any questions from the audience? Ron?
This follows up on a question asked by someone else to another group. If you've ever been denied funding, did they give you a reason why?
Not necessarily. We can only assume what the and I do think that a big part of it is that we're not serving a large demographic, so that ends up being a problem. I can only guess that though. So
Any other questions? Well, okay, then we will use the last couple of minutes. I think we can ask you a couple more questions. Ava?
So the funding request focuses on your summer camp program, and you already mentioned that we have another summer camp program here on the island, which is free of charge, but which serves a different age group, right? So you would be the only one serving the 4 and 5-year-olds. Would the public purpose funds, if you receive it, go towards these individuals that cannot be served by the free teaching program?
Yes, we give preference to 4 and 5-year-olds age bracket because they have no other summer camp option alignment. That's correct.
Okay. And then you list the cost for the summer camp, $75,000, slightly over $75,000, and the salaries for all programs are listed extra with $45,000. Can you specify a little bit what the cost items are that sum up to the $75,000 for the summer camp?
it's all. You're talking about salaries or all
No, because the
expenses?
salaries you list completely.
Yeah, no, it's all expenses. It's
So just those
approximately
like what
70.
expensive $75.
Field trips,
$1,000,
field trips,
$75,000.
anything extra. A large part of that goes to salaries. It's probably about $50,000 if you include the summer camp counselors and the program director, insurance. That was everything. Swimming, we pay for the space, we pay $2,000 to be in the church for the summer, those kinds of
With
expenses.
salaries, I understand, because the salaries were extra.
Okay,
I
yeah,
too, so
yeah.
they are there as well.
yeah.
Okay. You say that if there's space available, consideration will be given to off-island residents. Did this ever happen?
We've, for scholarships or for general attendance?
General attendance.
General attendance, yeah, we've had kids, we've had RIRA employees who have, utilized the program. Like, we see that as part of what we do, is absolutely, there's no discount of any kind, but we welcome people in, first priority to island residents, RIRA employees if they have a need, and then outsiders. So it's not that we're taking a huge request from outsiders, and then our camp is almost always filled up at 2 months before the camp starts by island residents. So
Last question is very short. You say that you need to secure the space. I understood the space is here, right?
Yeah.
Is there a risk that you will not get the space? And if so, what
we asked
will
early
happen with the program?
on in the year, and then we've never had a problem with it. So, but every year it's a risk. You don't know what's changed.
What would you do if you don't get?
We would at this point be in trouble because we couldn't run the camp. I mean, we don't have a space large enough. If we had our own space, that would be different, but our own larger space.
Aaron, would you like to ask another question?
No, but in looking at the budget, you have cleaning office general administrative expenses, $1,290. What office?
The space that we're in at 536, we run an after-school program there. It needs to be cleaned at least once a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's one time a week, 8 weeks?
Sometimes it's more, but yeah.
8 weeks, all year long.
All year long. No, you're talking about here?
No, whatever. I mean, I'm looking at your budget, so I'm just.
No, you're
I was
talking,
looking
okay,
at
that's a
breakdown, and
year-round
it seemed
budget?
like,
So we didn't pay for cleaning here. This is all related to 536 and our after-school program.
And the after, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. But your answer to the question, cleaning budget, applies to the location of the summer camp during the period of the summer camp? I just want to be clear on that.
What budget are you exactly looking at?
This one that your treasurer put together, your treasurer report?
Is it the year-long or general budget or just the budget for summer camp?
It says January to June 2015.
That was the budget that would absolutely apply to the after-school program. That's our
But then there's pieces that say
to-date budget.
2015-16, so it's a little confusing. Total enrichment, it sort of goes back and forth, so it doesn't specify.
The only cleaning we pay for is in our 536 space. We don't pay for cleaning here. So.
The real question is, are those expense consideration a part of your, those expenses
Summer camp budget?
influence your request for PPF funds for the summer camp? That's the real question. Okay, thank you.
You're talking about cleaning specifically. No, it does not affect our summer camp budget.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll have